You know what, I'm just gonna freestyle this. So, social media. I think many people confuse social media with social networking, and I think just in general the term social media has come to mean all different things to all different people. I think some people see it as the platform. So when I say social media to some people, they think Facebook, they think Twitter, they think YouTube. And I think to other people, they think it's social networking, it's the act of sharing and whatever. So I have a different framework that I use when designing a social media strategy, that I look at social media as a collection of different things that you can do. So for one, you can do listening. So you can listen to the web and peek in on conversations that are happening. It's one of the most exciting things to come out of social, is that people are contributing a verse into the ether and we can listen in on it when it's public, something like Twitter. You can search for people talking about all sorts of things. And as a business, you can use that information to make better decisions about your products and services, understand what's going on with your competitors, just a tremendous amount you can learn from that. And then once you've done that listening, you can incorporate that into your content strategy, which is the second component. So that can be content creation or content curation. Content creation obviously refers to blog posts, tweets, photographs, videos, graphic design, like infographics and things like that. So it's creating content that you originate. And then there's content curation, which is looking out to the web and finding things that are interesting and relevant to your audience and relevant about your business and your industry and sharing them with others. So creation and curation. So you start with listening, then you have content, and then we move into engagement. Engagement is what most people talk about in social. It's the sharing of content, commenting on, liking, and conversations that take place. But they can't exist in a vacuum. They have to exist as part of a more holistic way of looking at things. So I look at the interplay between listening and content as being what engagement actually is. Listening to your audience and then either creating content back in the way of conversation, or in the event that they have a specific question, you can create content that speaks to that question and provide value for them. So you have listening, you have content, and then you have engagement, which is the interplay between the two. But sometimes you don't actually have enough of a community. There's not enough people talking to listen to. There's not really anything that you can create content on because there's no audience there. So you need to somehow kind of pour some gasoline on that fire, and that's promotion. That's using paid channels and advertising to drive people to a place where you can listen to them and create content for them and engage them. And that's using things like Facebook ads and Twitter ads and stumble upon paid discovery, but it's also things like handing out your business card that says, follow us on Twitter or find us on Facebook. So it's any paid mechanism where you're putting money into driving a community to a specific place where you can engage them. And then outside of all of that, the thing that kind of encompasses everything, which is the fifth component, is measurement and analytics. So when you look at all of the other four that I mentioned, listening, content, engagement, and promotion, each of these things can be measured and optimized based upon what you find in looking at the analytics. So you can identify spikes in conversations and trends in the listening. You can look at the content that's resonating the most with your audience by click-throughs and the way that people interact with that content. The engagement, you can identify influencers. You can understand whether or not it's cutting down on your own telephone customer service and things like that. And then promotion, you can find out which ad copy and design is driving the most click-throughs and conversions. So the 5 components of social, I think, is the best possible way to look at social media. Rather than as platforms, you look at 5 different activities that work together, and when you consider your goals and your audience, you have a framework that can help you design a social media strategy.